Hello everyone, welcome to another one of my Leetcode videos. In this one we'll do today's daily challenge, Leetcode 1061, lexicographically smallest equivalent string. So we're basically given two strings and they say that each character in each string are equivalent, right? So in this case, for example, A is equal to C, B is equal to D, and so on. And basically, if there's transitive equalities, right? So let's say we have A equals C, and then there next we have B equals C, then A, B, and C are all considered all equal, right? So basically, S1 and S2 tell us what two characters are equal, and then we're given a base str, so the third string, and we have to transform this third string, like for each character pick the smallest one that are equal, right? So for example, if we see that for P, just taking an example, that if like we notice that A, B, P are equal, then for P we'll pick A because A is the smallest one in that set that's equal to P. And if it's not in the set, if it's not equal to anything, then we just default to the character itself. So in this case, they show what are the characters that are equal. So for example, for P, MP, so M is the smaller one, so we put M in the answer, right? And we keep doing that for each character. And in the third example, they show you like, okay, for source code, for example, U and D are not like in the, sorry, U is not in the like any of the two input strings, so we just default it to the character itself, right? So that's basically the question. So what will be our approach to solve? So my intuition here was basically just to create a map of character to a sorted set, so like a tree set of characters that it's equal to, right? So basically, when we have this map, what we'll do is whenever we see a character in the base str, we try to look it up. And if it's there, we'll pick the character from the tree set, the first one, and append that to our output, right? And then if it's not in the map, we'll just pick the letter itself. So basically, overall, from S1 and S2, we'll find a way to create this map. And then from base str, we will read from this map and construct our output. So the next question is, how do we efficiently create this map, right? So we'll look up the two characters in S1 and S2. So let's say we get C1 and C2 from S1 and S2, right? Saying that C1 and C2 are equal. So there are four different possible scenarios, right? So here are the four scenarios. Like one, whether we've seen C1 before and whether we've seen C2 before. So if we've seen both of them before, what we need to do is combine their values, right? If we've only seen one before and not the other, then what we need to do is we add the new character to the set of C1, right? And if we haven't seen both of them before, we just combine both of them and add them to a map, right? So let's walk through some examples to see how these maps would be formed. So for example, for the first one, first we go with P and M. We haven't seen both of them before, so we'll insert in our map P and the set of PM, and then M and the set of PM, right? So we'll insert the same set reference. So like anytime we update one set, the other automatically gets updated. So they will be the same set object that's put in the map. And then next, let's say we have A and O, right? So again, we haven't seen A and O before, so we'll go with AO and O also AO. And then next we have, let's say, R and R. So R and R are the same thing, so we'll just end up having R like that. And then next we have K and R. So now we've seen already R before. So what we'll do is we'll just get that set and add K. And then for K, we'll insert this set that we already have. Again, same reference. E and I, right? So again, we haven't seen both of them before, so we'll just create a new entry. And finally, R and S. So for R and S, we've already seen R before, but not S. So what we'll do is in the R map, we'll add S. And remember that these are the same references, so we'll also be adding S over here. And then for S, we'll insert that same map reference, right? Sorry, set reference, not map reference, right? So in this way, we'll update this map, and then we'll just loop through the base str, and for each character, we'll find the character in the map, and if it's present, we'll pick the first one, otherwise we'll just not pick any. So yeah, enough talking, let me go ahead and write the code for this. So first, let's create our map of character to tree set of character. Okay, so there goes our map, and before I write the middle logic, I'll just go ahead and write the final logic where we'll go through base str and then return the final answer. So we'll have our string answer, initialize it to an empty string, go through each character in the base str, and then here we'll just say answer plus equals to, so if our map already contains the character, then we'll just do map.get character dot first, and otherwise if it's not in the map, then what we'll do is just return the character itself, and finally we'll return answer. So that's how we'll consume from the map. Now let's populate the map according to the logic we described. So first we need a loop that goes through from 0 to the length of the S string, and S1 and S2 have the same length, so that's fine. And then we'll store both the characters in temporary variables. And now that we've done that, we'll just go ahead and create our 4 conditions. So let me create 2 booleans first that will tell us if C1 and C2 are present. So here are 2 booleans. Now let's just write our different branches. So first, if both are present, and here are the remaining branches. So if both are present, if only C1 is present, if only C2 is present, and if nothing is present. So let's do the simplest one first, where nothing is present. So we'll go ahead and create our new tree set. Here we have our tree set. We'll just go ahead and insert both C1 and C2 into the set, and then we'll add that set into our map against both C1 and C2. We'll be putting in the same set. So now that we have that case, let's go ahead and create the case where only C1 is present. So if only C1 is present, what we need to do is get the set that's at C1 and add C2 into it, right? So we get the set where C1 is and we add C2, and then we insert the same set reference for C2. So we have C2 and map.get C1. So this will insert the same set reference for both C1 and C2, and then we just do the opposite in the case where only C2 is present. So instead of map.get C2 or C1, we'll do map.get C2 and add C1, and over here we'll put C1 map.get C2. And then finally, the case where both are present, what we'll do is for each element that's already in C2, we'll add it to C1, right? So we'll say map.get C1.add all map.get C2. So this will add everything that's in the C2 map to the C1 map. And now what we need to do is update the set of everything that was in C2 to be C1, right? So we'll just say map.get C2 dot for each old C2 match. So for each old C2 match, what we'll do is update the set for that old C2 match to now the new combined set, which is map.get C1, right? So if both elements are in the map, again, we get the set of the old element and add everything of that to the combined map in C1. So now all of C1's elements will automatically get updated since they're sharing the same reference, but all of C2's elements will still be using the old map, right? So we need to make sure we point that to the same map reference as the C1 elements. So what we'll do is we'll get all of those elements, map.getC2, and for each of those, we'll update the elements set to the one of C1, which is now the combined set, right? So with that, let's go ahead and run this and see how this does. Accepted, let's submit. Perfect. Not the fastest solution, but it works. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.